tosses have thrown it out the door with their behaviour this week. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should absolutely look at themselves in the mirror and wonder what the have they been doing. They're hissing at us and calling us cheats in the Lord's long room, and they have the gall to say, talk to us about the spirit of cricket. Absolute bullshit.
There's a big appeal, it's hit him on the pad, he's out! Lions gone, New South Wales are 9 down, onto Sydney Road, and it's hit a car! Oh, I think it's hit a car! What a way to bring up your 50!
All you want is to leave it all behind. Now there is a simple remedy to stay fit for all eternity.
Well, today was about good old-fashioned mental disintegration. Australia, they ground England down. Today was about guts. Today was about patience. Today was about one team playing smart and getting the timing right. Australia was superb, and they now are on the verge of going 2-0 up in the Ashes and knocking Bazball for 6. That's right. Bazball, thanks for coming. You're about to get drubbed. What a performance from Australia today. Mitchell Starc, the star again, but this time tormenting England with the bat, top scoring with 77 and then taking 2 late wickets. But Neser and Boland, they played their part. Boland with the bat as well and taking 2 wickets. Neser a couple of wickets. There were heroes across the park for Australia. And today was good old-fashioned Aussie Test cricket. We worked and worked and worked, and England disintegrated, and they crumbled. Their bowlers under the hot Queensland sun were drubbed by the Australians. What a day. What a day. And this second test match, well, it's almost in Australia's grasp. I guess if you're an England supporter, there's Ben Stokes and there's Will Jacks not out at the crease. But Australia, they're so close to going 2-0 up. They just need one good hour tomorrow morning and it's all bloody over. No team has come back from 2-0 down in the Ashes to win the series since 1936-7. So, you know, Bazball is being busted in Australia. Stokes and McCullum, they're going to be jobless. It's definitely McCullum. I mean, they might have to keep Stokes, but McCullum's going to be out the door. So Australia started the day. They were 6 for 378. They were all out for 511. They added 133 for the last 4 wickets. But the main thing was they batted until well into the middle session, till about half an hour before the tea break. They batted for over 3 hours. They kept England out there. They got that lead up to 177. It was brilliant stuff from Australia. It was patient stuff. That's right. You can win test matches batting patiently, grinding teams down. It's not all one-way traffic, McCullum. You're such an idiot. So one-dimensional. And Australia showed these Bazballers how it's done. So Australia led by 177. Mitchell Starc top scoring 77. You know, the real partnership that just pushed England over the edge was when Boland and Starc put on 75 and batted for a couple of hours and kept them out there. And you could just see Cass and Stokes and Archer and Atkinson just get more and more weary. And I think there were reports that Archer brought his pillow to the ground this morning so that he could have a nap once they bowled Australia out. Well, that didn't happen because they weren't good enough. Starc and Boland resisted. That's how bad it's got for England. And this is like so many other England tours that have come before it where, you know, they come all filled with hope, you know, and this time they had this whole hype where they'd been preparing for this series for 4 years and it's all gone up in smoke. I mean, we've had 5 days of cricket, 5 days of cricket, and they're fucked already. They are fucked already after 5 days of cricket. That's what Bazball is up to right now in Australia. And their top order has been hopeless. It's been dog shit in the first 2 tests. So, you know, we've got more than a little sample size now. So Australia are on top. Yeah, so Australia finished 177 in front. England come out to bat just half an hour before the tea break, and they bat well. They get to the tea break, none for 45. You're thinking, okay, maybe they're going to mount a bit of a fight here, but no, they crumbled in the last session, 6 for 134 at stumps. They trail Australia by 43 still, so Australia still don't have to bat again. Perhaps Australia could bowl them out early tomorrow morning and not have to bat, but Stokes and Jacks are not out. And it was a cavalcade of wickets in that last session. Nisa started Boland got the first wicket, Duckett bowled, but then Nisa got two smart Corton bowls that really turned the tide. And then Stark and Boland in that last half an hour were irresistible. It was frenetic stuff, and it was brilliant stuff from Australia because, they earned it. They kept England out in the field. They didn't go out this morning and just have a slog. They didn't just give their wickets away, and it must be a good pitch because if Boland, and no offense, can bat for so long, then, it must be a pretty good pitch. But tonight, under lights, Australia were terrific, and they have just blitzed Bazball. So let's go through the day. I mean, I guess let's talk about the heroes. Well, Mitchell Starc, he came in early. Michael Nisa was out, and Starc batted right through the first session and right into the second session, made 77, his 12th Test half century, his 5th against England. It's his highest score at Test cricket in 8 years, his second half century of the calendar year. And it was to think he's the leading wicket taker and now to be the top scorer in that innings, phenomenal stuff. And he and Boland put on 75, and that was the 6th half century partnership for the innings for Australia. And in a weird thing, Australia, every player got into double figures. It's only the 3rd time that's happened for Australia, and the first time since 1992, and the 17th time in Test cricket. It was a very odd scorecard for Australia. All out 5-11 in 117.3 overs. I mean, still going almost 5 and over, even though today we really took our time. In that first session, Australia only scored about 70, 80 runs. They just took their time, knocked the ball around. Starc was very patient. But, Australia, top score, Starc 77, Weatherall 72, Labuschagne 65, Smith 61, and Carey got to his 50 today, made a nice 63 off 69 balls. Kind of a disappointing shot, just flashing at a wide one. You would expect Carey to have maybe stuck around a bit more with Mitchell Starc. He gave a couple of lives early, Carey. So anyway, good innings from Carey. But, when you consider how Starc batted, maybe he and Carey could have put a decent partnership together. But yeah, just phenomenal stuff. And even Doggett at the end, they're getting into double figures with 13. So that was Australia's innings. And it was so, the great thing about Australia's tactical nous today was it ticked all the boxes. So, Australia had plenty of reasons to bat for time. Firstly, obviously, you get the lead up as much as you can. But secondly, you could just tell England were breaking out there. And, this could have ramifications for the rest of the series, but also practically in this Test match. If Australia are chasing a small target or a target, then, keeping England's bowlers out there for as long as possible is going to mean they're less effective in the second innings. And then there was the third incentive that Australia wanted to have a new pink ball under lights when it would be most effective. So they had plenty of reasons to bat for time. And, you don't often see modern Test cricketers these days bat for time. It's very rare, or you don't see the smart teams do it. Maybe England don't bat for time, but yeah, so Australia batted for time today, and it was brilliant to see. And Boland was out there for 72 balls. And when you look at the England scorecard, no England player today was able to survive 72 balls. The most was Zach Crawley, who survived 59 balls. So, Boland really played his part today. And So Australia going cock a hoop, but then, as I said, just before the tea break, England smashed none for 45 and 6 overs. And, I was thinking at this point, okay, it's still a good batting wicket. Australia need to be careful here. England, we know the way they play. Maybe they can knock off this lead and we'll be chasing an awkward little target. But you've always got to remember, this is England. They're hopeless. They're hopeless here. So then, not long after the break, Duckett was bowled for 15. Boland got it kept a little low, but not particularly low. But then Ollie Pope, very soft dismissal, just punted one straight back to Michael Neser, first ball of a new spell. England were 2 for 90. That could be the end of Pope's Test career for the moment. Then a couple of overs later, Crawley did the same thing, and that'll be frustrating. He got to 44 and just again punted one back to Neser, caught and bowled. England were 3 for 97, and two really identical dismissals. And then Stark came back into the attack and he was clutching his side. So it looked like he was in a bit of trouble. And I don't know if he's done an injury. He actually, when he was running between wickets, when he was batting, he got clocked hard by a throw in. And maybe that's it. He's got some bruising there. But he got Root caught behind. Great review by Australia. It was odd dismissal from Root. He was just sort of flashing at a full ball and he flicked the ground at the same time. And great review by Australia because there was a couple of noises, but before the bat hit the ground, the ball hit the edge of the bat. So good catch by Carey, and the danger man was out for England. So that England by this stage were in real trouble. 4 for 121, Root in the pavilion. Then Brooke was facing Scott Boland. He was given out. It was reviewed and overturned. It ended up being off the pad. But then next ball, he edged the ball, but this time it was given not out, even though it was a clear edge. And Australia reviewed and it was overturned. So Brooke was on his way, and he was out for 15. And England were 5 for 123, and they were having a massive collapse. At one stage, they were 1 for 90, and they ended up losing 6 for 38 because after Brooke was out, Jamie Smith was out caught behind for 4. Stark second. That had England 6 for 128. Smith reviewed it, sheepish review, because it was not out. It was, clearly out. So England finished today 6 for 134. As I said, they were 1 for 90 at one stage and ended up losing in that last little bit. 5 for 44, so a real collapse for them in under the lights. And Australia have grabbed control of this match. They've grabbed control of this series, and you could see the shots of the English fans. They look so depressed watching their team crumble, because so many English teams come here and they go 2-0 down and that's it. And this English team has been no different. So Australia ended the day, the bowling figures: Mitchell Stark 2 for 48, Michael Neser 2 for 27, Brendan Doggett, he bowled well, 6 overs, none for 19, and then Scott Boland 2 for 33. So today was actually, we saw some real classic Test cricket. The run rate really dropped for a while, and Stark's innings, the way he just milked the bowling, he would take the single towards the end of the over, and England had no answers, absolutely no answers. So it was just really smart cricket. And, this English attack, they look broken. I mean, Cass got absolutely spanked. I mean, his figures, he leaked 152 runs, went at 5.2 and over. Jofra Archer, he just is so inconsistent with his pace. He really, by the end, dropped in pace, and his mistakes in the field were really frustrating Stokes. There was a couple of times where the ball was hit towards Archer, and it just didn't look like he was, being that sharp and getting to the ball, and he was giving away easy singles. So, Archer, I don't know how much gas he's got left in the tank for this series. Gus Atkinson, 1 for 114 in that innings. Frustrating for him. Ben Stokes, again, the best of the bowlers, 3 for 113, but he can't bowl from both ends, and how much can he actually bowl? Will Jacks ended up getting a wicket, the last wicket, and he actually got a bit of grip and bounce from this pitch, and Nathan Lyon definitely would have been a handful. But it was a pathetic performance by this England attack, and they got spanked. I mean, they came today looking to wrap up Australia, and when Australia got going and they lost those 2 wickets early, Neser out for 16, and then Carey not long after, I think, okay, well, England are actually going to be able to bat in some pretty good light here before the lights come on, so that's pretty good for them. But then they just couldn't get Boland and Stark out, and it was they had no answers, and the longer they were kept out there, the flatter they looked. And I just don't know how resilient this team is. You look at their bowling to come. They've got Josh Tongue, Matthew Potts. I mean, there's dramatic fall away in talent for this English team, and they're falling apart. They are falling apart. We're two tests in, and the top order has no answers to the Australian bowlers. And this is a bowling attack with no Hazelwood, no Cummins, and in this match, no Lyon. I mean, this is embarrassing for England, and it's not the first time they've been embarrassed here, and they are getting absolutely spanked. Now, tomorrow morning, I guess, if you're an England dreamer, you've got Ben Stokes there. We know what he can do. Can Stokes make a miracle 100, and you set Australia sort of 180, 200 on this pitch and put some pressure on Australia in the fourth innings? I mean, that's the only hope. If I'm someone from the Barmy Army right now, I'm thinking, okay, maybe Ben Stokes can do something special tomorrow. But this has been a day for Australia. This is Steve Waugh type mental disintegration stuff. That's what I loved about it today. This was good old fashioned. Let's fuck these Poms up. Let's keep them out there in the sun. Let's make them work for every wicket. Let's not give our wickets away. England could learn from us. They could learn from us, because that sort of courage, that sort of guts inspires people. I mean, Stark has been out there for the whole test match. I mean, apart from a bit yesterday when he wasn't batting, he's been out there for like 3 days, 2.5 days. Say 2.5 days. I mean, that's heroic stuff. And he's still running in, bowling as fast as ever. Another 2 wickets tonight. So, yeah, an incredible day for Australia, bad day for England. This tour is going off the rails, and they've only got themselves to blame. I mean, their fielding in this innings was pathetic. They gave their wickets away in the first innings, and if I was an England fan, I would be so pissed off with this team, because they've been yapping on for years about this series. When they've been playing other series, they've been talking about preparing for the Ashes, and they've come here and they've done nothing, and they've won nothing in the past. I mean, they haven't beaten India in a series. They haven't beaten us in a series. So, they're an absolute shit show. And this tour is going to be a disaster for them. So anyway, look, that's it for my day 3 wrap of the Gabba Test match. Thanks very much for joining me. Remember, we've got all our great Ashes merchandise. You can get the link in the episode notes. We've got some great Ashes themed t-shirts. I'll be back after day 4, hopefully to celebrate the Australian victory. Australia going 2-0 up in the Ashes. But yeah, what a great day for Australia. Full of guts, full of that Anzac spirit. And England, Ben Stokes, Baz McCullum, they're on the ropes, and it's all going to be over very, very soon.